to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Millie, and welcome to another video in Millymas, which is basically my vlogmas, and I will be uploading most days in December, and I'm really excited. So make sure you have your notification bell button turned on so that you don't miss an upload from me. And today I'm going to be doing the November anti-haul, so we'll be talking about some releases in the month of November that I anti-hauled. So I will be scooting over, and I almost forgot to mention, if you're interested in this eye look, then make sure you follow me on Instagram because I do post some IG Reels tutorials. So the details on this look will be in my Instagram. So let's get right into it. There is a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna start the screen recording. My phone may or may not die. It's at 16%. Let's hope it doesn't. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the new Sugar Beauty Magic and Ecstasy palette. And this could have been a really fun rainbow palette, even though didn't they kind of recently released a rainbow palette that had some like more iridescent kind of shimmer shades, or was that like maybe last year? Well, this palette has glitter in it, and you know what, my makeup prediction came true for 2020, and that was that there's going to be a lot of glitter in palettes, and boy was that right. So much glitter. I mean, just alone for the fact that this palette is half glitter is like a huge reason for me to anti-haul this. I'm not really sure who this is aimed for. If you're a color lover, you'll probably want a palette that is all rainbow mattes or maybe some shimmers, but glitter, just come on, let's stop that. Next, onto this palette. I just had to throw it in here. This is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Blood Money collection and palette, and a bundle of green lipsticks for whatever reason. And I think this was a very expected color story that would be coming out from him, as he's done blue, red, reddish pinkish, and kind of a purple palette. So I think this was definitely coming down the drain. I think a lot of people knew that. I do like the packaging on the outside of the like faux alligator skin, but yeah, this color story it's definitely not as green as I would think it was going to be. But overall, I doubt that this collection did do that well, because I feel like a lot of people are just not really interested in him anymore for obvious reasons. Next, let's go on to a completely different kind of palette. This is a neutral palette, which is from a new brand by Jamie Geneve, I think that's how it's pronounced, and she's a Scottish YouTuber. I've actually been watching her for many years. She's one of the kind of OG YouTubers I've watched, so I'm really happy for her to have her own brand, and it makes so much sense. She is a professional makeup artist, so this makes a lot of sense, but it's a neutral beige palette, so I'm just not interested in it. But I heard the quality was really amazing. I will be looking out for what is coming out next. I'm sure there's going to be a colorful palette. You gotta, if you're a makeup artist, you gotta have your neutrals, you're gonna have your colors. So I'm definitely expecting that maybe for 2021. We'll see. The lipsticks look absolutely stunning. I think these look very nice and high-end, very high quality. And yeah, I'm just really happy for her, but this is just not a palette that I'm looking to have. Next, on to another makeup artist slash YouTuber owned makeup brand. So this is Goss, and it's a new eyeshadow palette, and I'm not even sure what it's called. It doesn't say. No, it doesn't say. Well, anyways, it's just basically a bunch of grays and a blue and a peach and another giant pan of black eyeshadow. I mean, well, first of all, I don't think I'm his consumer base, but this is definitely, I feel like if you didn't have any kind of eyeshadow, if you had your neutrals, your warm neutrals, and you wanted some, you know, more cool tone eyeshadows to throw in there, then this might be an option. But I'm just not into it. It's 6 pans, and then you have this super textured blue shade, 2 mattes, and it looks like 2 satins, and then the black matte. I just don't see this being very exciting or very innovative. Either way, not something I'm looking to have. And then next, on to this collab between Morphe and Lisa Frank. And I know you had a folder with Lisa Frank design on it, because I definitely had. I mean, that stuff was so bright and colorful and fun. It was really attention grabbing. And of course, my younger self got sucked right into that. And so you've got the leopard print that's really colorful. So the usual, the colors definitely could have been edited down to maybe like a 15 pan palette, 20 at max. It's a lot of the same colors. All those oranges look pretty much the same. Not much really to say there. Definitely not excited to see anything from Morphe. I'm not really looking out for it. Next, on to the Kylie and Grinch collaboration. I am so mad this is not with ColourPop. She really beat them to it, didn't she? I know that ColourPop has a bad track record with doing collaborations and doing a really bad job with the color stories, but I just feel like they could have done better. I really like the outside packaging. You have the illustration of the Grinch, and he's super cute, and I mean, the packaging is so nice. Like, I would want it maybe just for that, but I am not supporting Kylie Cosmetics or Kylie or any of the Jenners or Kardashians, whatever. So that's the main reason I wouldn't be interested in it. But I heard that the quality wasn't great and the color story is super boring. So what a shame, because it really could have been such a cool Grinch themed palette. Next, I wanted to talk about these candles from Makeup Revolution or Revolution Home. There was some controversy that they stole the idea from Jackie Aina, and I decided to do some digging, because while I kind of see the similarity of the packaging, candles in general don't really have a fun type of like very different designed packaging. It's one of those types of products that has a very niche type of packaging. So for example, like technology has very similar type of packaging. For example, different food products, so you have cereals, they have all very similar designs. They're different, but they're very similar. It's kind of just a thing when it comes to design. So that's why I thought it doesn't necessarily mean that they're ripping them off. But let me read you their comment response that they're copying Forever Mood, and they said, our candles, room sprays, and diffusers will launch on November 30th, have been developed since May 2020. We announced them on Team Revolution Beauty on 20th of June 2020, showing images of the full collection. This was a month before the brand we are accused of duping revealed theirs. I know we're good, but seeing into the future is a skill we're still working on. It's kind of funny. I inserted the photo of the post they were talking about. This is from June 28th, and they said autumn winter 2020. It's just a rendering of the packaging and the kind of jar it comes in. And I'll just put up a bunch of other candle packaging that when you just look up candles, like these kinds of larger candles, and you'll just see they all have a pretty much like the same kind of theme. It's not like they're stealing the font or anything like that. Like, it's just a cursive font with a logo above it on top of like one full flood of color. Is not exactly anything that is special. It's just really three pieces that when they're put together make things look a little more high-end, a little bit more minimalistic, but still more designed. So that's why I just wanted to talk about it. But I am anti-hauling these. I think for the time being, I would maybe in the future be interested in candles, but honestly, I have so many candles already that, and I'm really picky about scents, that I would need to smell it in person before purchasing it. I just don't feel safe buying a scent that I have never smelled before. So maybe if they had smaller versions, like kind of like Bed Bath & Beyond used to have the little candles, maybe if they had little versions of that, maybe I would buy those. Same with Forever Mood. Like, I just don't want to buy scents like perfumes and stuff. I haven't actually smelled them prior to purchasing them. So then next, let's talk about these little mini quads from Lady Gaga House of Labs, and I thought these were really cute at first, and then the more I looked at them, I was like, they kind of look a little washed out. I don't know what it is. They look a little safe. Understandably, I'm not surprised. I do like some of these color stories. I like the purples with the gold. There's only one matte in that one though, so that's kind of strange. Then we have the kind of almost grayish teal with the gold and the peach, which is interesting. And then some of these cooler tone ones, I think, which one is this one called? Shadow palette. After Hours. After Hours, that one is really cool. I like that one. And the bright one is kind of fun, but I just, how much are they? 24 each? 24 for a quad. That's a lot. I mean, if these were maybe like $4, the purple one is really pretty. The teal one, this one's interesting. So there are some nice color stories. This is really perfect for anybody who wants to dip their toes into some of these color stories, but also it's really small and storable. So you can like pop this in your purse on the go, even though who's going anywhere nowadays. So then the next release is from Lunar Beauty. This was very much long anticipated, and I think everyone kind of had an idea that this is what it was going to be, like a bunch of cool tones. I do like the bottom row. Like, if I just had the bottom row and maybe some of those other grungy, not grungy, they're not grungy, warm tone neutrals or medium-ish neutrals, then that would be nice. But overall, with all of the shimmers at the top, like, I don't need another gold shimmer, I don't need another bronze shimmer, I don't really want another silver shimmer either. So I just feel like if I just covered the top two rows, I'd be perfectly fine with just the bottom row. And I really wanted to try the brushes. I'll probably end up buying those eventually. But yeah, I think he did a great job. The packaging is stunning. A++ on the packaging, really super cool. Has kind of like a hollow or oil spill effect on the moon in the center. But I think this is a really nice palette, and I think this is a great release for Lunar Beauty, but just not something that's for me. So the next one is the, what is it, 10th anniversary capsule collection from Sugarpill. And so you have a palette, you have some loose pigments, lip glosses. I think they're just lip glosses, or they're lipsticks, just lip glosses. Liquid lip color, lip gloss. Okay, there's two different things. Love the packaging, really, really cool. The PR box is super fun. The color story of this palette, I don't understand the mossy green in this with the purple. The purple looks just like the purple from the C1 capsule palette, and then the blue. Like, those three shadows just do not make sense to me with among all these other shades. There's just nothing really special. It seems like they were kind of hinting in some of the swatches that Shrinkle was like a duochrome, multichrome. And then loose pigments, I have no interest in loose pigments, whether or not it's from Sugarpill or really any brand. So, except for Tammy Tunica. But these, I'm just not interested, and I don't really know if anyone's even talking about like wanting Sugarpill to release more of these. So I'm kind of surprised that in 2020 they would release more loose pigments. Just doesn't really seem to be on trend. So I'm going to talk about two more things. One is the palette from Lethal Cosmetics. Now I did get their blushes. I'm wearing one of the blushes, and I'm wearing one of the contour shades for the lighter skin tones. And I also got 3 of their matte shadows. I think one of the shades is from here, Deceit. It's like the deeper purpley kind of matte shade, and they had a whole like bunch of swatches in their post. Let me see if I can find it. And they were saying, oh, look at these multi-chromes, and people in the comments are like, we don't see the multi-chrome. Like, I don't think these are multi-chromes at all. So I was going to buy some of the singles versus the palette, because I just don't feel like I don't love the color story of the palette. It is nice, but I don't like love it to spend all that money on it. But these are not multi-chromes. I don't know if it's just the lighting isn't right, and that's why they don't look shifty, but some of these look like just regular old shimmers or duochromes at most. But I did get the liners, but I'm just anti-hauling the palette. But I'm really excited to see what Lethal does in 2021. Next, on to another indie brand. This is Muse Beauty, and they don't have any good pictures of this palette. Like, this is one of the only photos. Then there's like one more photo of this palette, but right around the time they launched it, it was this photo, and that's all that they did. And then people bought it up, and I can't see what's going on in here. I don't think the photography is great. Direct sunlight in general just washes everything out. But since then, I've seen people use this palette, and it's a really cool color story. I love the concept behind the brand, and I'm really curious to see what they come out with in 2021. But this palette is just not for me. But I do wish that they do come out with more 9-pan palettes, because then I will be interested. So I'm looking out for them, but I'm not quite ready to purchase and bite the bullet, because I do feel like they're just a little bit on the expensive side in terms of their pricing of the palettes. And so that's everything I'm going to talk about today. There's been so many releases, but these are the ones that I thought were interesting enough for me to talk about and actually gather some thoughts when I saw them while scrolling down on my feed. Let me know in the comments below what you anti-hauled in November, and if you purchased any of these, let us know how you're liking it. And that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. I will be posting lots of makeup content in December as well as into January, but this month it will be especially a lot. It will be a mix of edited videos as well as some live streams, which are really, really fun. So I would love to see you in a live chat. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.